to totally come here and run this thing, or Michelle won.
We got your back.
Thank you, sweetheart. You're not in the car, are you?
No, I finally made it home. I'm cooking dinner now.
I love this business. Well, guys, hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Kenny Harless, and I'm a National Marketing Director of Team Prosperity and a consultant with Procter and Gallagher Institute. And so people, I always get the question, why would you choose Juice Plus? Well, honestly, for one, it just made sense. And one of the first things I do is I knew that I wasn't eating the way that I should, nor was my little girl. And I'm going to go into our children's study as we go. But really what I start people with is to qualify this. Does it make sense, right? And what I find is this, is I ask people, do you eat 10 to 15 raw fistful sizes of vegetables and fruits every day? And if they don't, this is how we use this product to actually bridge the gap. It's the easy button, right? So life is so fast paced these days. We're all over the place. So I thought, man, if I can get some simple nutrition into my kid, and myself, absolutely. Now, if you're not eating 2 to 3 fistful sizes of also wild caught salmon a week, you need to also be consuming the omegas. And the way Juice Plus is made, it's got 30 different vine ripened fruits and vegetables. This is why produce in the grocery store tastes so much different, is because they pluck it 2 and 3 weeks early because it travels 2,500 miles before it gets farm to table. And so when I started learning these things, I was juicing. So this just made total sense. So Juice Plus, what they do is they ripen it towards a 95% absorption rate, okay, and nutritional value. And then what they do is they pluck it, they freeze it after they wash it to lock in all the nutrition. And then when they're ready to use it, they use these low dehydration techniques to actually preserve enzymes. The enzymes are necessary to allow the food to turn into energy. And that made so much sense to me. So, and plus, you don't even have to taste these things, right? Now, some of the added benefits of also our omegas are huge. So they actually did a comparison study back in, I think it was 2005. And they did this at Oxford University in Durham. And they compared Ritalin, okay, to omegas. They megadosed omega-3s. And what they found was astounding. Megadosing these for 2 to 3 months, or 3 to 5 months, excuse me, and it enhanced the children's spelling, grammar, and comprehension anywhere from 12 to 15 months with no side effects. See what omegas do. Our omegas are also plant-based. And that really drew me because I always thought omegas, you hear fish oil. Well, fish actually get omegas-3s from algae. We also use buckhorn. And buckhorn is omega-7, which actually creates, it softens the permeability of the cells to allow plasticity. It allows the omegas to stay stable and get into the cells. Now, what omegas are for are gut health, huge. Hormone health. How many of you guys know moms that are pregnant and have mommy brain, right? They're exhausted because you're growing a whole other child, right? A whole other being, 250,000 cells a minute. So wouldn't it make sense to get some proper nutrition into the mother? Because what happens, the brain is 80% fat. It's the white matter. And so what the body, 72% of the body, the cells of the membranes are actually a fat. This is why when you put water and oil together, it actually separates. And this is exactly what happens in the cell membrane. So these omegas are utilized to actually make hormones, guys. So if we can put these in, what people aren't getting, the baby quits taking it from the brain. So it's beautiful in that regard. They've also too got huge studies in your cardiovascular system, heart health, and brain health, just to name a couple, and joint pain. So how many people we know who have arthritis and all these brain disorders, children with learning disabilities or challenges? That is a precursor. That's inflammation. So when you hear words that end in itis or osis, that is code for inflammation. Inflammation in Latin means fire. And so I explain this simply, give people pictures so they don't perish. And what happens is if you have a grease fire, people are trying to put those grease fires out. But what they like to do, they like to use multivitamins. I call these the yabba dabba don'ts, the Flintstone vitamins. And if you look, that's got a locking lid. The reason is because 60,000 Americans overdose every year. My point, people are taking this stuff trying to reduce inflammation, and it's actually like throwing water on that grease fire, and it spreads it and it makes it worse. What Juice Plus is it's fruits, vegetables, and berries that are vine ripened. They remove the fiber, the water, and the sugar. So when you do, I had a patient go, well, how can you fit all that in there? I said, well, if I cremated you, how much you use left? Right? And so Juice Plus, as you'll notice, is a flip top. And our gummies are actually a Ziploc bag. And the difference, that is actually a food label. These are vitamins. So Juice Plus acts like baking soda you would throw on a fire, and it reduces inflammation and the body starts to correct and balance. Another beautiful product that we don't have a lot of products, but our shakes. These are not protein shakes. They're meal replacements. They have 8 grams of fiber in them, 2 soluble, 6 insoluble. Or excuse me, I said that backwards, 6 soluble, 2 insoluble. But more importantly, these have soy in them. I used to be of the negative proponent of soy. Okay, it depends on the type of soy that you use. We use non-GMO. Also, it's how you produce it. We use water washing, more expensive. Let me give you an example. Have you ever noticed how there's extra virgin olive oil versus olive oil? Extra virgin, they cold press it, just like our omegas. They're cold fused. When you heat it, you destroy it. When you cook with olive oil and it smokes, you just made it a bad oil. You made it rancid. Okay. This is what inflammation does to fats in your body and cholesterol. It creates rancid, and so your immune system attacks it. Well, when you use water washing, it actually keeps it intact. And when you see buzzwords like processed or isolated, that means garbage. So many people take whey protein. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. It's the runoff. It's the junk. The Canadian food government took actually dairy out of their food pyramid 2 years ago. So going back to the shakes actually act as a SERM. That's an acronym for selective estrogen reuptake modifiers. They actually bind to receptors, estrogen receptors on the cell, thereby not allowing estrogen to enter into the cell. Why is that important? They now know that even in rainwater, there is estrogen attached to the rain molecules. Plastics. When you have high amounts of estrogen, you know how you hear about a lot of cancers these days? They're all hormone-based organs when you step and think. Breast, testicular, right? Colorectal, liver, pancreatic. Those are hormone organs, guys. Thyroid. And so when you have high estrogen, you have low testosterone, you have an imbalance. Think about when you're pregnant, estrogen makes you store body fat, which creates more inflammation because you're building a baby. So we want to get this stuff in balance. We actually have our shakes have been studied at MD Anderson in cancer studies, cancer survivor studies. And you can look up the Shanghai trial and the LACE trial, and it shows that there were like 4,300 to 5,000 women in those studies. And when the more soy they consume, the less reoccurrence they had of cancer because of these effects. Now, one of my favorite parts of our product is the children's health study. This honestly is what drew me to this product. It's a 21-year study now. We have like 3 million families in it and 300,000 respondents. And I told you guys, I was so freaking dense, guys. I couldn't believe it was this simple. So children get this product for free when I start taking it. I can put my little girl on this for free for up to 4 years. And the research shows this. When these children take this product, they go to a doctor 66% less. They miss school 60% less. They eat more fruits and vegetables and drink more water 71% of the time. When you go to a doctor, does it ever say take more multivitamins? Or does it say eat more fruits and vegetables, drink more water, move more, and de-stress? Positive mental attitude. Now, here, I need to update this slide. We're up to 41, I believe, medical research peer-reviewed journals now. And if you don't believe me, ask Siri what the most nutritionally researched product on the planet is, and it will say Juice Plus. But here's the funny thing. We've had 3 continents that these studies have been performed in. I think it's 4 now. Okay. Also, 8 countries total. And we have 41 peer-reviewed studies from Yale, Vanderbilt, Florida, Florida State, Memphis, just to name a few, guys. And so these things are continuously being done. The newest one shows how the gut biome has been affected, I believe, at the University of Memphis. And we have 26 positive studies showing cardiovascular influence just on our cardiovascular system. So if that's not enough, I don't know what to tell you. Now, also too, our products are NSF certified, which I had no clue. Hey, beautiful. You going to bed? Sorry, my little butt wants to say goodnight. You say goodnight there, bye. We're doing Juice Plus call. You say night-night.
Good night.
I love you. I don't have my buds in. Love you, dude. So basically NSF, and I had a patient in my office years ago. He goes, "Doc, this stuff's legit." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "It's got NSF certification." Well, what that means, and you can see it there on the label, every product we have has this. What this tells you, the only thing in that product is actually on the label. They can't add anything else to it. And they check it for herbicides, pesticides, mold, mildew, bacteria, radiation, and ethylene gas. And yes, you heard me correctly. And I was like, why would you use radiation or gas? Do you remember earlier how I said that they pluck every bit of the produce 2 and 3 weeks early? So have you ever noticed how you get bananas at the grocery store and they're green, but they ripen as they go? Or have you ever noticed how the tomatoes are red, but then they're green at the top? Not the vine, but right at the top of the tomato. That is because they picked them 2 and 3 weeks early so they didn't rot on the shelf, which gives you a 40% nutritional value, which is now why they want you to eat almost double and triple the amount of fruits and vegetables from when we were kids, and they wanted 4 to 6 servings. And if you're an athlete, now they want 16 to 20 servings. So what they do is they use gas and radiation to actually freaking ripen the produce. I can't make this stuff up. It cracks me up. So anyway, these products are actually even Olympic certified. I didn't know this, but a female cannot be even on the menstrual pill. You can't take aspirin. That's why you see cupping and things like that in the Olympics. And the reason being is because they are so stringent on their testing. And Juice Plus is food. So the German, Swiss, and Austrian Olympic teams take 12 servings a day. I take 3 a day, servings a day, because there's never been a medical study to show you cannot eat enough fruits and vegetables, period. So these are some of the things. This right here, depending upon what medical research you read, anywhere from 85 to 95% of medical research shows chronic disease due to inflammation basically causes all chronic debilitating diseases. Heart disease, cancer. Do you see any things on here that you've probably seen in your family health history? This is why I changed my lifestyle, because I knew that that beautiful little thing that just hopped on was going to do what I didn't what I told her to do, but what I do. And so I didn't want to sign up for the rest that I had seen. So now that these products are probably starting to make some sense to you, let's go over what the costs of these things are. So basically, the duo here in the middle is the fruits and the veggies. Okay, and that's $50 a month, which includes a free children's health study. And now through December 31st, you can add a free bag of shakes and only pay $5 shipping and handling for that. It's literally 15 servings, and it's a $35 value. With this, you're getting broccoli, parsley, tomato, carrot, garlic, lemon, beet, lemon, peel, rice, and beet and kale, excuse me. And then the fruits, my goodness, it's crazy. They're like cherry, prune, pineapple, date, beet, just to name a few. It's $1.50 a day. And then if you go, let me explain why I do what I do with myself and my family. The trio is when you add the berries. Let me share one study with you. The University of Maryland did a study back in 2003, and they took 56 hospital employees that were considered healthy, had no diseases medically. And what they basically did was this. They fed them a high-fat meal. The high-fat meal was an Egg McMuffin and sauce and a hash brown. Now, I'm sure many of us on here have done that. We probably ran through those things with our children because we're in a hurry and life happens. Here's what they found: a 60% reduction in the arterial blood flow of the arteries in healthy people, and it took 6 hours to get back to normal. So what they did, they do double-blind placebos because they know that the mentality of the person taking the product and the doctor can affect the outcome. So nobody knows what they're getting in this case. That's what double-blind means. Here's what they found. They fed one group a placebo, one group they did the fruits and the veggies, and one group they added the berries to it. The group, after the 28 days they did this, they all were fed that same high-fat meal again. They gave the first group, they checked the placebo, 60% reduction, 6 hours to get back to normal. The group that ate the fruits and the veggies, the free kids study basically, had a 13.7% reduction in their blood flow, which is phenomenal compared to 60%. And it took an hour to get back to normal. Here's the next thing. When they added the berries, it was a 3% reduction in zero lag time. This is why they call Viagra the purple or blue pill, because the anthocyanins in the berries give it the color, and that's what creates nitric oxide to stimulate the arterial blood flow. So we also add the omegas. The omegas are $1 a day. Oh, by the way, the trio costs you $2.50 a day. When you add the omegas, which is what I take, my wife takes, my beautiful little girl takes, that's $3.50 a day. Literally, people go and buy the Crappa Chappa, whatever, I can't even say it, at Starbucks, and they can basically get 2 of these for 2 adults, 2 kids, right, for literally the same price. And they're going to do that because they're exhausted and they're trying to get their energy up. Well, how many of you guys have had positive energy changes since you've taken Juice Plus, amongst all kinds of other things, right? Now, we also have shakes and we also have bars. Those are meal replacements and they're $2.30 a serving-ish, basically is what that costs to. This right here is our Tower Garden. And I did this simply because I read research showing that when children plant a garden, they're 80% more likely to be aware of what they're putting into their bodies. This thing right here, you can get grow lights. That's what that is. And it takes up 5% of the space, costs $7 a year to run it. I figured out about 4 months we paid for this thing. You're getting rid of plastics of stuff that you're wasting. You're getting 40% absorption rate from the grocery store. All the plastic that you're putting into the environment, you no longer have to buy. You literally put water and minerals in this thing, and it takes up 3 foot of space. It's a 30% higher yield, and I promise you have never tasted vegetables like this in your freaking life. It's crazy the taste difference. There's no E. coli, no mess, and you can even get grants in schools to pay for these things. So that was a huge reason why. Now, what I want to show you now, if the products are making sense to you, see, birds of a feather flock together, don't they? You don't hang around people that don't think like you. So how many of you guys that are parents on here that are struggling just to get your kid to eat a freaking vegetable? Or is it just me? So if this makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to people that you care. And the only way you can get these products is if somebody shares them with you that shares this business. And someone cared enough about me to share this with me. And so I want to share with you how this works a little bit. And then I'm going to bring Beth in. But basically our flagship product is the fruits and the veggies and the berries. That's the trio. Okay. That's $300, $300 in product volume. Now to start this business, it's $52 once a year. Once a year. Like I said, a day, a year. It cost me about $300K to open a practice. Okay. So I was laughing all the way to the bank. That was just me. But here's what happened. That 300 is broke up over 4 payments because you're going to get a 4-month supply. And the reason you're getting a 4-month supply is because would you guys let your kids hang around bad children? Never, because they're going to be influenced by those kids. Well, you see a red blood cell lasts about 90 to 120 days. So if you don't change the internal environment, guess what's going to happen? It's going to create another bad red blood cell that carries your food and waste and all those things out in and out of the body. So we want to make sure we clean up the environment, clean up the temple. Make sense? And so long story short, the quad is 420. So Jenny, let's say that you come on board and in the first 10 days you rock it. Basically, you need to get 1,000 points. So in 10 days, and you're gonna get a $100 bonus check. So how cool is that to get a $100 check in the mail instead of a bill, right?
Dr.
Yeah.
Take us off share screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see.
I think I can do that. Stop screen share. Okay, cool. Can you guys see better now?
Once we put you on speaker view. Thank you.
Thank you. How about now? Sweet. So Jenny comes on board. So once you basically get, Jenny, 1,000 points. So you need, if you get people to buy 1,000 in products, they give you all the product volume up front. So if you do a trio, it's 300. So if you get 4 of those, that's your number, right? To get 1,000. Product volume. That's how this works. So now, or 2 quads, excuse me, and a trio. Now you're going to earn 5% commission in the future, and you earn 10% on what you share. That's cool. Well, now, Jenny, you're like, man, I just got to check them out. That's kind of cool. So now you bring on Susie. And now you can actually team build. I didn't get this to start. I didn't do it this way. I just did it the hard way, like a goofball. So I'm trying to share you guys better. So now what happens, Susie comes on board, and Susie brings in 2,000 in volume with you. And so now we're going for our next goal of QSC. In this person brings on 2,000. Jenny's at 1,200 points. Now you bring on Beth, right? And Beth, she doesn't get it yet, but she bought a quad. She's going to try the product. Isn't that funny? We got to try it out, right? It's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. I crank up. So I was that guy though. I had to try it out too. So I'm not making fun of anybody. I told you I was dense. So now Misty comes on board, and Misty, she gets it too. So she's like, man, I got 5 moms that are just dying to do this. Well, all you need is 4,000 points. And if you do it in 30 days, they give you $400 bonus check. And Jenny, if I brought you in, because I helped you do that, I'm also getting a $400 bonus check. That's pretty, or 3, I think, excuse me. That's pretty cool. But now you're going to get 10% commission. So I always ask people, would you rather make $30 on that trio or 75? Right? So now here's what happens. If you qualify your business at a QSC, you can earn 3%. So let's just say that you get that crazy woman in the room, Beth, and she builds, I don't know, 4.2 million in volume a month. You can earn 3% on that. That's pretty freaking cool. But why stop there, right? If we can get, right? So now, once you do QSC, you need 1 partner to share, which you already have 3, Jenny. So now your job is to rinse and repeat this. Your job is to get at least 2 of these people to QSC, just like you did, to bring 1 partner plus on. And when you do this, now you become what we call a sales coordinator. A person who qualifies their business as a QSC, they average about $500 to $750 a month. When you get to SC and qualify your business, you're about $1,200 to $1,500 a month. That's real money. That's game changing. And when people get there, they have a vision, which we can share another night. But here's what happens. So now that you're sales coordinator, you get a $600 bonus check. You can earn 7 if you do it in 4 months. I like to go fast. I don't like to go slow. So what happens, your upline, I would also get 600 for helping Jenny do this. Well, that's cool. Now Jenny makes 15% commission, 3% performance bonus, and she can also pick up a 3% POB, performance out bonus, extra on top of that. That's really cool. Now, what we want to do, now that you understand how to get the sales coordinator, you want to teach 5 people to do that same thing. Now, there is some structure with it, but what does that mean? Now you hit NMD. Now, there's 3 levels between there, but I want to take the whole call up. And what happens there, you get a $10,000 bonus check, full medical benefits. I think it's like $250 a month. You pay 80/20 for the first 2,000 out of pocket, and then it's 100% coverage. No pre-existing conditions held. So how many of you guys out there know doctors, you know, people that are hair salon owners or gym owners that literally hire these people, teach them, and those people leave, and those people get nothing from this? See, what if you could help them build a residual income that if they did leave, so if Beth moved out of the state like I did or whatever, I'm still helping Beth build and helping Jenny build. See, what happened is John Paul Getty, I used to own a business, a practice. I didn't. It was self-employment. If I didn't show up, I didn't get paid. And John Paul Getty said, I'd rather have 1% of thousands of people's efforts than 100% of my own. So here's how this works. It's not how effective you are. It's how you duplicate what you do. So when you look at this here, I want to show you guys something. When somebody shows my dad, I got to show you a couple things, guys. I love to share this. So my dad, I put him on the product, loves the product. And he says to me, he goes, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. And I said, oh, you mean like this? Like where you work, like Walmart, like Target, like every other corporate where there's a CEO up here at the very top. And then there's national, international, regional, district, man, all these things. And you were like in here somewhere. And after 43 years, they fired you and you showed up an hour early every day because you thought that was safe. All because I'm doing something different. You think it's not working. And he looked at me and he goes, huh. I said, Dad, by the way, they hired somebody outside of your own company to come and do your work. They didn't even know your job. And I said, you're never going to get here unless you marry that person and you're already taken. God bless Mom for dealing with it. I said, the way our company works is this. We're an upside down pyramid. Everybody starts right there at the bottom. But everybody has the opportunity, whether you're black, white, purple, polka dot, whatever, to reach the top. When I flip that and show people that, see, where there is no vision, the people perish, King Solomon said, but where there is a vision, they don't perish. And so when I had someone show me this, when I understood the numbers biblically, like Jesus said, he created disciples. So check this out. If Jenny, this is you, and then you bring on, as we talk about the Christmas tree effect, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Let's just say you brought on 5, you can bring on thousands of front line. And you bring those 5 on and you teach those 5 how to duplicate, how to do the 3-way calls, Zoom calls, all these things, bring people, we share with them, right? And then those people, the next generation down, these 5 bring on 5. Well, that's 25. Your third generation, 25 times 5 is 125. Your fourth generation is 625 when you take 125 times 5. And when you take the fifth generation and you multiply the fourth generation by 5, you're at 30,105 for a grand total of 3,906 people out sharing that product. So could we just get people to get rid of the multivitamins that are garbage, that they're urinating out, that smells like pterodactyl urine, it looks like pterodactyl freaking alien pee, right? It's not working. If we could just get them to take that, if we could just get them to start to eat the bars or the shakes, right? And get rid of the whey. If these people were all worth just $10 a piece, and some are worth way more than that, that's the paycheck. By helping others, as Jesus said, the greatest amongst you is the servant of all. You want more money, render more service, said Muhammad Ali. And so you're doing it completely opposite of what the rest of the world's doing it. So when I saw that, I was like, I was going to figure this out. So I'll now step off because Beth's still awake. I'm giving her crap, but she's going to come in and speak to you guys. And does anybody have any questions before she does speak? Yeah. I'm gonna have to bring this down though, right? Beth's like my wife's height, so this is gonna be fun. You come on over. You gotta get right there. Right there's the camera.
Why can I see myself?
I think so. No, we're
Look
gonna.
at
Can
me.
you guys see her?
Hey everyone.
Honey, I shrank the kid. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Kenny, you have all this stuff.
Dude, this is scary, guys. There you go. See, there you go. Go ahead. You
All
go.
right.
You get to share your story.
Okay. Hey everyone. Well, this is exciting to be here with Kenny and Honesty tonight. And so for those of you that who doesn't know me, do we have about 14 on. Okay. So my name's Beth Leipold, and I'm going to look in the camera. I feel like I'm looking at Jason and White.
Yeah,
Jason
right
and
there.
Misty. I see you guys.
Here we go. Oh,
So
gallery.
I'm so used to doing building this business and doing this on my telephone, right? Because years ago, I've been in the business it'll be 14 years in January. So 14 years ago, I was teaching a fitness class and a mom shared Juice Plus with me. And it made sense right away. I actually became a partner and a partner and a customer the same day. So for those people that say they need a story and they need to work on all this, you don't. It's literally, it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. If it makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to other people. And that's how you have to look at it. Everyone knows what an apple, an orange, a broccoli is. So I had no intention of really building this business or knowing what it was. I didn't get linked with the person. I just randomly signed up with someone in my area and I didn't know them at all. So anyway, through our connection and through our business, we all have sponsorships. And how Kenny and I are connected is Dr. Garrett Soldano was my neighbor in Tampa, and I got to share and introduce Juice Plus to him when we were neighbors. And then Garrett introduced, and well, Kenny had already known about it. So it's who you know, it's taking the time to share. But 14 years ago, I would have never known what this product and what this business, and I always say 14 years ago, we were gluten-free, non-GMO, and people didn't even know what that was. Mm-hmm. No one knew what that was. And so we're always ahead of the game. So very strong company. My sponsor, David and Chris Drobes, have been in the business almost 20 years. So they taught me everything. They were a couple lines up, and one of the things they did was share with everyone, share the product and the business with everyone. Don't prejudge. I did it very quickly, moved to the top position in about 17 months. building a team. And, you know, it's funner with a team of people when you think about it. One of my good friends had signed up and she said, oh, this isn't for me. And she kept giving me orders. And when I got to know her and then she started putting orders in and decided to do this, it just started to grow. And that's the thing. That's what we're making an impact. When I look at my organization at the end of the month and see that our team, which is a part of Kenny's team and everyone, you know, we have close to 1,500 to 1,800 new orders a month. And so I could never do that on my own. And to think how many of those are children getting free Juice Plus, it's an amazing thing. So some things that I'll share with you, you know, through the journey is, you know, just sharing my story and then a couple tips, Kenny, if that sounds good,
absolutely.
or if anything
Yeah,
else
whatever.
comes up. But my sponsor didn't live close to me at all, the person that's brought me in. So that's one thing. If you're tuning in and, you know, the person that introduced you doesn't live close to you, or now with technology, back in the day when I started, we didn't have Facebook. Social media wasn't around. It was conversations with people, caring about people, one person at a time, and thinking that we're, you know, mission and team driven. It's funner with a team of people doing this together. Sharing this opportunity together. And we all have different styles, you know, we all have different strengths. I'm a one-on-one person. I love talking to people one-on-one, and then that person, the product makes sense to them. They join the mission, then they go out and share. And so if you think about this, building this business, I know that Kenny just went over this, the business model with you. Do you know, 30 to 40 people that could benefit from Juice Plus? You know, if you think in your mind, do you know 30, 40 people that could benefit from Juice Plus? If you can go out there and start with a customer base and those people lock arms with you, and then they go to find 20 to 30, 40 people, and then the next group finds 20 to 30, 40 people, that's all we do, is just building that. People say to me all the time, you know, Beth, how many hundreds of orders do you have? And I go, what are you talking about? I keep about 30 to 40 orders because those people are rolling over into the team.
1 out of 5 do the research.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so they join. And so you have to be there to tell them, you know, so always share the product and the business, even if you don't know a lot about the business. It doesn't matter. I didn't either. I didn't learn really our business model. Kenny is so great at teaching it. I didn't have that in the beginning. So I didn't learn until we got into a leadership position, but all I did was share my passion and share what this is. And then you bring people to this call, you bring people. And then once you hear and you engage, they come in and show up, and you guys learn together. And you're always going to be a step ahead of the next person. So, but the journey's been amazing. I started when my kids were 3 and 6. They're now 17 and 20. My husband, Eric, is in the business now with us, along with my 20-year-old daughter. You know, this business is willable to your children. It's very solid, you know, our medical benefits, and it continues to grow. And you look at our company in the last few months of what we've gone through, our company is at an all-time high in sales that it's ever been in the 50 years that we're getting ready to celebrate this year with the Juice Plus company. So very strong, very stable. We all have our different styles, our personalities, but you know what, it just takes one person at a time to make a difference and care with them. And here's the thing, it's solid. Everyone needs fruits and vegetables. And I love that our product is on auto ship. You know, I have the same customers that I've had for 14 years. Yeah. And they continue to get it. And, you know, our product, when I look at it, it is affordable. You know, when you look at what people are spending out in the stores, there is, you know, I think, you know, my kids are athletes. My daughter plays Division I basketball. She's been on Juice Plus for 14 years. Her recovery is amazing. She hasn't been on antibiotics. I mean, we will never go a day without it, for sure, because we know that I can't even get that for her at her college level from the cafeteria every single day. So everyone from womb to tomb, I look at this and say, no matter who you run into, you've always got someone that you can share with. And, you know, our company is getting ready to go virtual with a new website and a new formation. We've been spending years looking at this next layer. I mean, the company, and we're getting ready to launch it. So I would say 14 years ago, now is the time to do this. Things are going to get better. We're growing as a company. It's easier to share. And, you know, from what the explanation that Kenny goes, when you look at this, you know, people don't have to see it. You can share with your voice. It's exactly what it says. People know what broccoli, kale, spinach, acerola cherries are. in these products. So you can do
I
it.
can't even say acerola cherry.
Acerola cherries, yeah. So right, and all the things that are in the vineyard blend. But so some tips on building: stay consistent with your sponsor, whoever brought you in. It's the most important thing. I will say it all over again. Why? Because you are in business for yourself, but never by yourself. All right. And you have to embrace that team effort, because Kenny has different strengths than I do. You know, there's things we're, you know, both at the top level of this company, and there's things that I'll call Kenny for and say, hey, what are your thoughts on this? It's a different perspective than what I have. Or what would you say? We're always learning. We're always growing. So stay consistent with your sponsor. It's all in mindset, and the coaching that you guys get from Kenny is top notch, let me tell you, because it is so much your mindset. I've learned that early on. I had a great sponsor that taught that to me, and I listened and I was teachable. So are you teachable? Are you coachable? Do you have the desire to succeed? You know, and are you willing to do some activity? It doesn't require a ton of activity. It just requires consistency. Remember, if you bring on a team of people and you just stop sharing for 2 months, don't expect them to. So be in the game, little bit of consistency, stay with your sponsor. This is not complicated at all. I built my business very wide. That's another exciting thing. Building a wide team, there's no cap on our income ever. So you can build as wide and as deep as you do things. So what else would you like me to share?
Well, I mean, how you retired your husband, and
Yes.
you know the Drobes who brought in Beth, right? So Dr. Drobes was an oral surgeon, I believe, right?
Yeah, my sponsors, Chris and David Drobes, which you may hear in communication, or if you're on phone calls, they're multiple 100 club members, and you may not know what that means, but it's a big level. David was a dental surgeon, and Chris ran and operated Mrs. D's Gourmet Cookies, $1 million cookie business. And she's so funny because she always says, I was suppressing people's immune systems. You know, who would trust me with fruits and vegetables? But she didn't have time freedom. Her kids were probably about 11 and 15 when she joined this business. And she was on airplanes constantly building Mrs. D's Gourmet Cookies. And so, you know, no matter what age you are or where you are, it was interesting at our last conference, we had a lot of talk about coming into this business, even in your 50s. People are living into their 80s. So even starting something like this in your 50s and where that can grow to is a powerful thing. I mean, I never really thought about it. You know, I started when I was 32 in the business, but you know, think about the people that are retiring and still need more income and are having to go back to work and, you know, doing this together. I also love the fact that you can do it. I see some spouses on here, husband and wife teams, something that you can share together.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the journey's been great. My husband, just some things happened and we were able to retire him a little early, which was beautiful. You know, we're still both in our 40s. We have our Juice Plus business that continues to grow. And I mean, I talk to Kenny all the time and we're just a direct link. I'm here for everyone also. And that's the cool thing about it. Seeing all of you tonight just brings me energy and excitement, because it's you guys that are out there that have no people, that know people, that know people. And that's how it works in it. So very strong company, very stable. I never knew that I would get in. My background's in physical therapy. I left the hospital and rehab setting years ago, and never thought I'd be doing this, but I know we're reaching more people,
Absolutely.
you know, with it. So don't get too worried about the numbers. It's going out there and, you know, thinking about, don't not share with someone. If I would have never had the bravery when Garrett moved next door to me, being a chiropractor, and he says, what do you do? And I said it. I'm a national marketing director with Juice Plus. And he was like, whoa, I could see it, you know, like, oh, one of those things. But we got to know each other.
All those pyramids.
Yes, we got to know each other. He got to know me, my husband. And when I kept talking about the Children's Health Study and just the wonderful things that our company has, it was like he kept listening. So don't give up on people. That's
Guys, listen to this. Do you hear her passion? It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah. And that's the thing that Garrett said. It was your passion, Beth, you know, your passion that got you. I still get excited. Like I was out there just kind of mellow, but now you come in and you start talking about it, you get excited because it changes people's lives. And it's worth it. Not everyone gets it right away, but don't give up on people, because this is the cool thing. If you leave them at a good point and listen, you know, this business is all about conversations. You know, genuinely invest yourself in asking people questions, learn about them. They're going to ask you back. This business is just conversations. And even if people don't get it, it's neat to see over the years that people that maybe their child's been diagnosed with a disease or their husband got diabetes, they come back to me and say, Beth, you know what? I know you tried to share it a while ago. I'm open to it now. So it's in their timing. It's not always ours.
You know, a couple of things too, Beth made me think about, guys. So when I learned about this and how much it made sense, I called Misty and Jason White. And I always use this as an example. And Misty goes, oh, I don't have time for this stuff. No way, don't want another thing. Huh. And then I met Russ Kennedy's wife, Lisa, back in February, and I shared Juice Plus with her on an onboarding call with another company I'm with. And she just like, oh, okay. And then recently she reached out, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I told Kathy, she knows Kathy very well. I said, Kathy, you need to reach out to her about this. And since her son's been on this, I don't even know now, a couple weeks, Russ is on here. He can vouch for this. Their son hasn't used an inhaler for weeks. Let me ask you a question. All you guys that are moms, right? What do you always worry about? How does that affect your family? How does it affect your spouse when all you're thinking about is trying to get the kid healthy? What does it happen to your other kids? So if you believe in the product, isn't it a disservice if you don't share it? See, allow people to make the choice is what I'm trying to say to you. Like you like, don't ever, if somebody knew something would change my life, my little girl's life, you better tell me. And I really mean that. I may not listen to you, and that's on me, but give them the choice. That's the difference. So ask yourself the question, if you believe in the product and you're not sharing it, why are you not sharing it? It's because you're making it about yourself instead of making it about the person in front of you. Gail, your husband's life changed because they reached out to you with that condition. That would have never happened, ever. If I hadn't had the balls to call Misty and Jason, because Beth didn't quit on Garrett and Garrett didn't quit on me, because we were tough goofballs. I'm just telling you, like, you never know when somebody's going to switch. I didn't know 8 months ago that Lisa was going to say yes and that her little boy's life was going to be changed. There's no payment I can get for that. I didn't do it for that. I didn't even get the order. I didn't want the order. I wanted that kid on the product. When you come from there, people will follow you. When you give value, they follow. If you're trying to take, they feel that. I wanted to make that, but I want you to think how you're changing not only an individual, but families and communities. When people get healthier and you hear about people getting off this drug and that drug and this and that, when people are on less drugs, are they healthier or sicker? Do they do better things or worse things? I'm not sitting here saying that this is the answer for those things. I'm just saying, if you're healthier, do you need more or less of that stuff? Look at the health of the community. Look at the world right now. The reason we're in trouble in America is because everybody is overweight and obese. Okay? And if you put more vegetables and fruits in these people's lives, I'm telling you right now, they're going to be freaking healthier. It doesn't take a doctor to know that. It's not that complicated. Get with your person who brought you in. And if they're not available, get with the person above them. Like my upline, Garrett, hasn't been available, because of what he's dealing with. So I call Beth. And I'm a national marketing director. So don't tell me you can't do this. I really mean that. You can do it. You just got to make the choice to do it.
And more than likely what you've gone through, or if someone says no, that's why you call your sponsor too, your upline, because
you don't complain downline.
I try not to.
No, I'm kidding when I say that.
Yeah.
What she's saying is you want to call the person above you because they've already seen the garbage.
Yeah, they've already seen it and you're going to get through it. And so that's it. It's so much personal growth, but it's worth it. It really is at the end of the day, what you learn in this business. It's a great.
Hey, Dr. Kinney,
Yeah.
I'd like to make a comment. So, my son got his wisdom teeth pulled, and I don't know if you remember, but his appointment was supposed to be several weeks ago.
Okay.
And I had talked with you, and you were like, you really need to get him on Juice Plus. I'm like, oh, he's got it in like 2 days. Well, that appointment ended up getting canceled. The doctor didn't show up, and it got rescheduled for 2 or 3 weeks later. So I got him on the Juice Plus, taking it every single day. And whenever I took him in yesterday for the surgery, I don't know if parents are aware of this, but, one of the prescriptions that they actually prescribe to kids is narcotics.
Opiates, guys.
Absolutely. And I said, no. So I asked, right? I asked, what prescriptions do you give? And they told me, nonchalantly told me, right? And I said, okay, I want treatment with no narcotics. And so there's those possibilities out there, right? There's other things they can do and give, but a lot of parents aren't educated to know to ask those questions. And so he had the surgery yesterday. He didn't need to take a regular pain pill until last night, and he's had one today, but he's been on the Juice Plus, like I said, for, not faithfully, but for 2 weeks, as much as I could get down him. And I actually have him on a juice cleanse right now. And it's so funny because I told them, I was like, well, he'll be on a juice cleanse for 3 days. And they're like, oh no, we need him eating. You need to at least get him some Ensures. I'm like, yeah, no, he won't be drinking any Ensures. If anything, he can have a Juice Plus shake, but no, he'll be on juices, and his inflammation is down, his pain level is down. But the things that people don't realize that they're not educated on is, how many kids get their wisdom teeth pulled? Basically, that's the number one recommendation when kids get braces.
Yep.
And millions of kids get braces. So that's something else to think about with kids who have, teenagers, junior high kids that are going to be going into braces, because opioids is such a huge addiction. And unfortunately, parents don't know any better. They give it to their kids, and some end up with that addiction. So that's just another point I wanted to make, because it surprised me how it was so nonchalant on, oh, well, so you don't want them to have the narcotics? I'm like, wait, I wanted to say, well, do you want to give it to your kids?
Right. I want to piggyback on that, Michelle. They did a study over in Great Britain on wisdom teeth extraction because it is the number one surgery in Western medicine, Western hemisphere. And they found in doing this that people that had this done were able to utilize within 3 days, they were able to stop within 1 to 2 days, the reduction of high narcotics like that. They were able to open their jaws further. What's the importance of that? That means that there were less muscle spasms. When they did cut the tooth out, the ruptures of the sutures occurred less because the inflammation was lower 90% of the time. And if it did rupture, it was 90% smaller. Why is that important? This isn't a joke to me, and I truly mean that. In West Virginia, where I'm from, 50 people that I know a year lower than me in high school are dead because they all went, in 1 to 3 day use of those narcotics increases your risk, medical research shows, 6% to become an addict, and then 7 out of 10 go to heroin. If they take it 11 days, they're 36% more likely. 92 million new prescriptions were given in 2015. I can't tell you how many people I know that are great people that are dead because they did a procedure like you're talking about. And I just wonder, if I'd have known that, how many more lives could have been touched?
Yeah, and parents don't have no idea. They trust the doctors, they fill the prescriptions, they give it to their kids.
Yeah, that's another reason to bring people in and share our healthy community. Because in 14 years, I feel like the education I've received, the doctors, the wellness doctors. I feel like I've learned so much just from the education that we get, and being a part of our community. That's just another thing. And that's where we are. We're the messenger of this message about Juice Plus. It's not only stability for nutritional health, but our financial health. It's huge. The average family that could have an extra $500 a month would prevent them from going into foreclosure. So,
I think it's 75% of the time.
yeah,
guys.
we can make it. So I love our product, but I love our business. And I go from that because we are the messenger of so many wonderful things. I think Jason or someone raised their
Yeah,
hand.
go ahead.
I just wanted to piggyback on that too. Right now, I'm helping a local teacher raise money for kids or for restaurant workers because there's so much need right now and they're in such a bad place. And so she asked me to help her with like just some of my local connections to other entrepreneurs. And so we're putting that together, and it's just the stories are just so heart-wrenching, but I can't tell you how many of them I thought, oh man, I wish I got to figure out a way to reach these people better. I need to be better at what I do so that I can help them, so that they aren't in this place, right? So that they have another stream of income, and they have another source of income to lean on in these lean times. And I just wanted to share that with everybody because the stories are truly, truly heart-wrenching. So don't give up. Keep talking to people. Keep sharing from your heart, and makes a
Never
difference.
know. That's a great, thanks for bringing that awareness. Yep. Anybody else have anything? I want to finally eat some dinner. I'm getting cranky. You guys are all quiet now.
Thanks for the great call, everybody.
Thank you guys so much, man. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.